Hello everyone and welcome back to the 50th Annual Sun and Fun International Expo and Fly-In here at the Lakeland Linder International Airport. I'm Ben Coleman, your anchor host for today with the Florida Aviation Network, coming to you live and in the clear from the Central Florida Aerospace Academy here on the campus of Sun and Fun. And we really do hope that if you cannot make it here physically, that you pay attention to all the media that's going to be available for this fly-in. It's their 50th annual, and they're really rolling out the carpet for folks to let them realize just how happy they are to have made it 50 years, and they're looking forward to the next 50 as well. I may not be your host at the next 50th. However, I will be here in spirit. Trust me. We have today a person here that is a man after my own heart. He's doing what we all, I think, would love to have done in our careers if we had our careers in front of us. Mr. Brandon Gardner. Brandon.
Nice to see you again.
You as well. And
thank you for having me.
Release. All right, that's a better
there
release.
We go.
All right. That's quite a meat hook you got there,
well,
too.
Likewise.
Okay, good. Brandon, tell us what's going on in the world of the Bahamas, the Pretty Blue Water Mine, and what you have that's going to be able to tie people from the Central Florida area to the Pretty Blue Water in the Bahamas.
Well, absolutely. So we've got a really great thing going on. My company, Premier Flight Solutions, we're based at Orlando Executive Airport, KORL, and a big part of our business for many years has been teaching pilots one-on-one how to fly to the Bahamas and the Caribbean. If you want to learn how to do it safely, if you've never done it before, maybe you want your hand held a little bit so that you feel comfortable taking your wife and your kids by yourself, we're the ones to come see. We'll make sure that gets done. Okay,
well, and how else, if I wanted to say, I don't want to work, I just want to go for a pleasure, just a little weekend getaway, me and Mel, and just go have fun. How would I get there?
Well, some really exciting news that we have is hopefully some point this week, we are launching a charter operation that will allow friends and family or folks that just don't want to deal with the piloting part to go and enjoy and experience the islands. So we're really excited to bring that to the Central Florida market. It's going to be called Central Florida Air Charters, and we'll be operating out of the Tampa area in Orlando and offering destinations throughout the Southeast United States and the Bahamas.
And this is an FAA 135?
Yep, 135 air carrier. Yep,
cool.
We've been working really hard.
That's great. That's quite a step because it's a lot of work.
It is. It is, and our goal is by this time next year to have a King Air 200 and allow parties of all sizes, families of all sizes to go and enjoy the same islands that we've been taking advantage of.
Brandon, I know that this is not your first rodeo, and you've been doing flight training for quite a bit. Mm-hmm. What is your largest, and I'm just kind of curious right now, your largest takeaway of what you have learned through this process of getting 135 certified, if you will?
Well, I'm learning a whole lot of things that I never thought I would learn before. It's a whole different ball game in terms of regulations, in terms of what you can do operationally. Mm-hmm. But what I've really taken away is that the world really is limitless at this point. I mean, to be able to share these destinations with members of the general public is really a wonderful thing. There's a lot of people out there that have never really thought about learning how to fly, and maybe have never even been on a small plane, and now for them to hop into a 5-seat aircraft and get to see some other parts of the world that they would not normally be able to visit. I'm hoping that it's going to spark general aviation interest in a lot of folks that have the means to do it and the will and the desire to go do this without somebody flying them themselves.
Sure. Brandon, what is your approach to, do you out of MCO or ORL
ORL
direct, or do you go down to West Palm and then jump over, or what? I'm just curious how you work it out. How do you recommend?
Yeah, typically when we conduct training operations, if you do it in house with me, I have a beautiful G1000 182, it's a later model 182T. We go direct from Orlando. I mean, by the time we're at the coast, we're up at our cruising altitude of 9,000-10,000 feet, and there's not really any imminent concerns to where we need to follow a coastline or anything like that. So unless you want to do that for the purposes of scenery, it's perfectly safe to just go direct to your destination.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and now how about coming back with customs and all? Do you get along well with our customs agents?
So we do. We have a great relationship with customs agents on both sides, the United States and the Bahamas, and that's kind of really the intimidating factor when we talk about flying internationally for the first time. You know, there's a lot of misinformation out there that, oh my God, if I make one mistake on my paperwork, there goes my airplane, or I'm going to get hit with all these fines. And
Be in jail.
you know, yeah, and it once you learn how to do this properly, and you do it, you know, 2 or 3 times on your own, you say, oh, well, that's not really a big deal. And it's really sad that that mentality and the misinformation out there is what's preventing people from enjoying these new experiences. And it's amazing because obviously with the time machines that you and I are so blessed to be able to fly, I can be in the Caribbean or the Bahamas in less time than it takes me to fly to Key West, which is in my own state. So it really is incredible, you know. And once you get past some of these misnomers about the entire process, it really opens up a whole new world of opportunity.
Wow. And again, the SR-22, is that what you have? That's a nice swift machine.
Yeah, the Cirrus is an amazing airplane. It's a 5-seat, high-performance single-engine airplane equipped with a ton of state-of-the-art features, avionics, and of course, most well-known is the ballistics parachute for the entire airframe. So for, you know, nervous flyers or you know, maybe your spouse isn't too comfortable with the idea of you going up with the kids, you know, there's this whole other added layer of safety where if anything goes wrong, we've got a really great shot of walking away. And that's why it's the perfect airplane for us to get started with our charter operation.
Well, and by flying over a single engine, I still know people that get worried when they get over water, and the airplane doesn't know that it's over water.
That's what I tell people all the time.
But however, I do know that it's
Yes.
over water, and I
Yes.
hear every one of those spark plugs as soon as I lose sight of land.
That's
behind
right.
Me. I fly Satapria.
Oh,
Now
very
that's
nice.
a fun trip over there.
It sure is. It sure is.
But you get to see a lot more out of the Satapria than
Yes.
but
Yes, you
it's a
do.
lot of fun.
It sure is.
Brandon, I just happened to notice that you are an ambassador, one of a dozen or so. And what does that involve? I mean, do you have a good working relationship with the Ministry of Tourism and basically the Bahamian officials over there?
We do. So a couple years ago, I got in touch with some of the folks over at the Ministry of Tourism, and you know, showed them what I was doing, and you know, how I've centered my business around flying to the Bahamas, and they invited me into their ambassador program, which is a real small network of folks in the United States who the Bahamian government kind of slaps their seal of approval on you, and that you're knowledgeable enough about flying in their country to where they rely on you now to promote general aviation tourism, you know, within the island. So it's really an honorary appointment, and it's a wonderful working relationship that we have. And part of that relationship involves hosting fly-ins every year. So generally twice a year, in October for Halloween weekend, and again in March. We did postpone the March one this time because it was just too close to Sun and Fun. But we put together, in association with the Ministry of Tourism, this amazing fly-in to where, you know, we'll plan destinations in the Bahamas. Sometimes it's one island, sometimes it's 3 islands. Sometimes they're 3 days long, sometimes they're a week long. And, you know, we'll go show pilots all that the islands have to offer, and it's an amazing island hopping experience. You get to meet people from all over the country that want to participate in these fly-ins, and it's a really great way for you to experience Bahamas flying for the first time with a group of other people.
Cool. And my buddy Greg Roll,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Yes, I know Greg.
he's quite a gentleman.
He's wonderful.
Tall guy.
Wonderful, very tall.
You're talking about a meat hook. He's got a 10-pound ham. His ham,
Oh, yeah.
it's huge.
Greg has been an amazing person to work with, and Ahmad Williams and everybody else at the Ministry of Tourism. I've been very lucky.
We're fortunate to have them so close.
We are.
Our country's so close.
We are, and it's literally right in our backyard. I mean, it's an hour away for me to get to the Abacos. You know, even in slower movers like the 172s and the 152s, I see people flying 152s all the time. You know, you just got to make a couple more fuel stops.
Sure.
But, you know, once you get past the whole over water is dangerous mentality, you know, like you said, the airplane has no idea. It's not more prone to failure. And like any risk that we take every time we get into the airplane, as long as you mitigate it and prepare accordingly, there's nothing to be afraid of.
In the unlikely event that there was an issue, what type of material do you take with you?
Well,
Equipment.
By law, we're required to have life preservers. That's a Bahamian regulation. There's nothing that states that we're required to have a life raft, but it's one of those things that I'd rather have and not need than need and not have. So we always carry a life raft. And even for the small general aviation aircraft, my life raft is 13 pounds and it holds 6 people. So weight is no longer a factor. We also carry emergency locator beacons that are water activated, just like you would have on your boat. If your boat were to sink, the minute that device touches the water, it's going to start broadcasting a signal, just like your ELT in your aircraft would. We have flare guns, we have whistles, and kind of the cool thing is that between the United States and the Bahamas, especially Florida, there's 100 boats at any point in time. Pick which boat you want to land next to if it's a problem.
Just take a thumb.
And once you reach the Bahamas themselves, the water is super shallow. Chances are, if you do have an event, you're going to step off your wing and wait for a boat to come.
Now this is just having a general discussion. When you fly over, and do you have them don their Mae West or a preserver? It
depends. Some pilots will wear the inflatable life jackets where all you do is pull the tab. In my 182, we have life jackets that are in sealed pouches in front of everybody's seat that all you do is rip it open and put it on top of you, just like you see in the airline demonstrations. But yeah, you can certainly wear them over. Any Coast Guard approved life preserver is acceptable. So even those big bulky orange ones that you see on all the cruise ships, I mean, that's perfectly acceptable if you just wanted to throw them in the airplane.
I tell my folks that, look, don't let it worry you, but just it's another layer of something you don't have to do in the unlikely event that you need it.
Absolutely.
And besides, it's a nice fashion, to take a photograph with your Mae West on.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, if you do have to, and I'm talking about the elephant in the room, if you do have to ditch, it can be a little bit cantankerous of things floating around in the cockpit. So I recommend anybody, if they're going to go, they know they're going to be extended over water, go ahead and put it on.
Certainly
it's
can
not
hurt.
that uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Except I one time took a King Air over to Turkey from U.S. Going over the northern route. I wouldn't put the Gumby suit on. Nah, I'm just sorry. I will wrestle with the Gumby suit because chances of making it out of 35-degree water, you're not going to make it anyway. So what difference does it make?
That's right.
Let's just get it over with.
That's right. I've worn those suits too. They're not very comfortable.
Brandon, I'm just really excited to hear that there's folks willing to put it out there, and it's not everybody would be as gung-ho to do this as you are, and it's encouraging to see that there are folks that are willing to again put it out on the line. Let's go. Let's make this happen.
Well, thank you.
And we're going to grow.
Well, thank you. Well, I love GA. It's my home. It's the end of the road for me. And, I'm so lucky to be able to fly every day and share this with people that I couldn't ask for anything better. So I'm just happy to be here.
Well, and we want to learn more about it as well. And I still feel like I'm not getting the full picture on our ambassadorship. Where could we find information? I know you're Premier Flight Solutions, and you're here in Orlando, and you're available at just Google Premier Flight Solutions.
Yeah, you can find us online at premierflightsolutions.com, and you can also find more about the Bahamas Ambassador Program at bahamas.com. If you click on the Private Aviation tab, you'll see that there's a list of ambassadors in the United States. And at any point in time, if you ever have questions just about some paperwork or whatnot, part of our role as ambassadors is to provide that support to you. So pick up the phone, give me a call. My email's on there, and I'm more than happy to chat with you and walk anybody through the first-time experience.
We will do that. But Brandon, what are you doing here this week? Are you here for Sun and Fun all week or just for a couple days?
I'm going to be here for a couple days. I think I'm going to bring my daughter back on Friday, but I'm just kind of going around and seeing everybody's familiar faces who I haven't seen in a long time and seeing what's the latest and greatest things I don't need to buy that I'm buying anyway.
Oh, there's new stuff out there.
Yeah, it's very dangerous for me to walk around. Already done that, and I'm just enjoying the show. It's wonderful to be here for the 50-year anniversary.
Are you going to stay here tonight for the concert?
Of course.
Okay, good. That's probably going to be very well attended.
I'm looking forward to it.
Well attended. I wish that Trace would have been able to make it.
Yes.
But I'm sure it's going to be some good entertainment.
That's
on
right.
top of everything. What else? Tell me more. I'm hungry to learn about what we got the entrepreneurship going on, and the FAA is working with you as best they can.
They are. They are. It's just really exciting to start the expansion into the charter world. You know, this has been a goal of mine since I got into flying, and really, you know, what we're trying to do is cultivate this boutique Southeast United States and Caribbean, you know, island hopping, cargo 135 experience, and you know, make the islands more accessible for everybody. You know, our training business is bigger and better than ever. We've got a phenomenal team of instructors. They're all well versed in the Bahamian crossing procedures. So chances are you'll see one of them before you'll see me when you come to us. But we've had people from all over the country come fly to Orlando commercially, go through our Bahamas training course and our 182, and then they go home with the tools to take their own airplane from New York or New Jersey or wherever they came from and bring their entire family. So if you've ever wanted to do it, I mean, I promise you we're the best around to show you how to do that.
Well, it can be daunting.
It can.
For somebody particularly flying in that have ever really done any overwater flying. And
it can.
We're only talking about, what, 30 minutes that you're kind
of at
any
most.
jeopardy?
You know, and once you reach West End and on Grand Bahama Island for the first time, you see land every 15, 20 minutes. I mean, you're looking at one island at your front window and one at your back window.
Yeah.
And it really, the intimidation factor is usually subsided just by the views. It's amazing. You see shades of blue you never even knew existed, and it's a very special place that's right in our own backyard. And it kills me when I see these folks that they get their pilot's license and all they do is go fly laps in the pattern, and that's it. And every now and then maybe we'll do a cross country 30 miles away. Yeah. Go out and explore. You didn't spend all that time and all that money to, you know, look at the same sites every single time. We've got some folks that are renting my airplane from Germany right now. Every year they come to the United States and they go a different adventure. There's 2 of them. And they have my airplane all through the Bahamas right now. I think they were in Bimini last night. They were in Cat Island. They went to Exumas. They're going to Grand Bahama Island, the Abacos. They're on like a 10-day adventure. And whatever hotel is available is where they're staying. And there's kind of no plan. And, you know, to be able to do that type of adventure is just really incredible.
Wow, it brings back some fond memories because I worked for Piper Aircraft out of Vero Beach for a number of years back when I was young, and it was nothing to, you know, take off out of Vero.
Oh, especially from the coast.
Yeah, 45 minutes. You're in Freeport.
Sure, and we're about another 30 from Orlando, so it's really not that bad.
It was not bad at all, and the customs folks coming into West Palm, not a problem.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing about dealing with customs, if you really don't have anything that you're trying to slip by, just be honest with them and don't try to slip anything by them.
That's it.
You know, don't pull in more alcohol than you're supposed to.
That's right.
And firearms, you know,
leave them at home.
Yeah,
you don't need them.
No, how many are you? I'm just kind of. You mentioned that you have a fleet of. Well, you got your 182, you got SR-22. Any other training aircraft that you have there? Or?
A lot of what we do from the training, if you don't use my airplanes, is we do a lot of owner-operator training. So folks that already have their airplane, you know, my staff is well versed in many different types of makes and models for that. But as far as in-house, we have our G1000 182. We have a G3 SR-22 Cirrus, and then the Cirrus for our charter is one of the later generations, the G6, which up until a couple months ago was the latest generation before Cirrus came out with the G7.
Wow. Damn, I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you. You'll have to come along with us one day.
I'm looking forward to seeing some gray hair on you some of these days.
It's coming faster than I anticipated. But hey, it's all in good fun.
It is. So. Brandon, thanks so much for your time.
Great to see you, Ben. Thank you for having me again.
We'll see you again.
Yes, sir.
We will. And that's going to wind up this interview. And I don't know about you, but my mind is in the Bahamas now. So I'm going to have to go take care of some of it. I feel like a coconut. I feel like a coconut drink for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, we're going to tie this one off a little early, but we'll see you next interview.